Okay, so this is going to be a tutorial based on the pistons here. As you know, we're going to do a main axis. We're going to create the general axis that define the object. First of all, the measure of the main axis, which is going to be this line, is going to be 20 inches from beginning to end. We're going to create a couple circles here for the top of the piece, another one for the bottom. We're going to do a couple booleans to make this cut, this interior cut. We're going to use a combination of nerve surface and a little bit of polygons. We'll see afterwards. We're going to create also for the reference lines. We're going to create this circle outer one. We're going to create this line, vertical one, and we're going to create another circle here, and of course the circle for the extrusion of the main piece in the axis. Okay, let's start with it. First of all, let's go to Window, Setting Preference, and set the units by going to Settings and not change the coordinate system. The Y is giving problems to everybody. So let's go to inches here because we know we want inches, and save. And we're gonna. One thing I want to remind you is that Maya is very good in terms of creating proportional units, never like exact units as Rhino, for example. So you will always create a unit here and scale it 20 times if you want a 20 line, for example. It's a very good way of working in Maya, and it seems like wasting time, but it becomes quite exact at the same time, no? And it makes you think about proportions and so and so. Okay, another thing. Let's go create. As we know, in nerves primitives, we have this unchecked. So whatever I create, a box, circle, it's going to create it in the middle, related to the main axis, and symmetrical, and one unit measuring. Okay, create. We're going to do a CV curve. Options. We want the one linear checked for the degree. You know it's going to create um, a polyline versus a curve, which will be the 3 cubic option. And we're going to create a snap into the grid. X, as you know, this guy highlights while we hold press the X button, and we're going to create from here to here, which is 2 units length. Okay, so now we're going to do is scale it. We have to check always here where we have to scale, where we have to rotate, in what direction. We know that Z is the direction, so if we scale it in the Z value 10 units, and since it's 2 units, going to be double to the 20 that we want. No, it's very simple. Okay, another axis that we want is the top one. Let's go to the front view, and we're going to create another CB curve, 1 degree, and snap into the grid X, and I'm going to do 1 unit, and I'm going to go back to the perspective, and there is 1 unit line. And I'm going to actually scale it in its vertical dimension, which is the Y in this case, 8. So we know that this line is 8 units now. Well, 8 and 20. So those 2 main axes are there. We want to create now curves, a circle, and rotate E and J to rotate steps of 15, as you remember, until it's rotate X 90 degrees. This we're gonna scale it down, and I have some notes that says this is a point to recommend you guys to establish. First, a little drawing with notes. Of course, I'm gonna give you all the numbers, and you will say, why would I do that if you're gonna give me the numbers? But for your future machine or for your future jobs, in your your future, you should check first a little drawing, or make a reference line, a drawing sketch or whatever, to be more clear and exact about the measurements. So this circle is going to measure 0.25, and we can just select again, copy and paste, so all those units are the same. So there we go, that's going to be the bar. We're going to select that and copy by Control D, as you remember, and we're going to scale it to 0.75, and copy and paste again, copy, paste, paste. We're gonna Control D that circle, and we're gonna scale it to 1.8, 1.8, copy, paste, and paste. There we go. We're gonna create another circle here, one unit, and we're going to move it W, and pressing X snap into the vertical grid that, even though we don't see it, is there. So 1, 2, 3, 4 into the 8th position, and we want this circle to be scale 1.4. Let's make it a little bigger, 1.6, and copy that as well. Copy, paste, and paste. Okay, we're gonna Control D that, and by snapping to the grid again, we're gonna move it. I think 2 positions. Let's move it now a little bit to. I have it as, I believe, 5.6, 5.6, and it moves down. You see translation Y, it moves it down in reference to that. Another thing we have to do is copy this axis, Control D, and move it X to this position, which is 6, but we want it pretty much in 6.2. So we're going to put 6.2, not 3, 2. And we're going to copy this little circle again. Control D. And X snap into the top. Whoops. X and snap. It's going to be exactly in the 6th position. And we're going to put 6.2 as well. I think the circle is smaller, let's check it out, than this one obviously, so we probably want to make it actually this one should be bigger I think, but let's make it for now 0.2. It's you get the idea. I think it's more about knowing exactly the measurements. If you had a control of how things are measured and what the dimensions, it would be very exact about how you're constructing things. What we're going to do the last thing is to select these guys and select this one's, right click, lock. Another thing we want to do is go to the by selecting them and go into the outliner to see all the objects that we have. We're going to do Control G by selecting all these curves. Control G says a group, and we can do it working lines and enter, and that's it. We have kind of the reference lines, and we're going to start building things up.